Fani got subpoenaed by Congress, having a rough one. Not only is she having to deal with allegations of sexual impropriety with her special counsel, Nathan Wade, but now Congress wants to know more about those federal funds that she used, allegedly for COVID. And the story is that she and her office were not impacted by that hack that went around in Georgia, and she's also not going anywhere. CNN had some inside sources saying Fani is not stepping down. We're gonna have a lot more big Fani coming through down the pike here. And so we'll jump right into what Jim Jordan sent over from Congress. You see, this is the subpoena, and it comes from Jim Jordan from Ohio. You see, he sends this one down here, signed by Jim Jordan, the chairman himself, and it goes over to Fani Willis, the Honorable District Attorney from Fulton County's office from the House of Representatives Committee on the Judiciary. They write, "Dear Miss Willis, on August 24th, the Judiciary Committee sent you a letter, hopefully you got it, requesting documents in the custody of your office relating in part to those federal government grant funds that the DOJ gave to you. We sent you a bunch of letters. Look at these letters." And Fani has been very rude in these letters. She responds to these. She's like, "Get bent, you're Congress. I hate you. Don't tell me what to do." And now they're curious where this money went. Now, since that date, we've sent you 2 additional letters that she probably just threw in the garbage. Maybe she was on the cruise. Maybe she didn't get them. September 27th and December 5th, reiterating our request to you. And to date, you have failed to comply voluntarily with any of our requests. And so just as a reminder, right, what Congress does is they just paper them. Letter 1, letter 2, letter 3. Okay, you're not sending us letters. Guess what? Now there is a subpoena. We'll see you in Congress. So the committee's oversight of your office and the use of federal grant funds is particularly relevant in light of what we have learned recently. Public whistleblower allegations that we listened to previously on this channel that your office has misused federal funding. According to a recent report, your office unlawfully, quote, planned to use part of a $488,000 federal grant that was earmarked for the creation of a Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention. You know, those things. The government's going to create a Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention. What do you think is going to happen there? Probably youth disempowerment and gang creation, I would guess, to cover frivolous and unrelated expenses. All that money repurposed for MacBooks and other things. Now, the DOJ awarded this grant to Fulton County for the purpose of creating that center to work with boys and girls ages 12 to 17. But the center, through funding the grant, it was intended to establish a community network in Fulton County to identify and address service gaps and barriers and create a comprehensive system of service for youth at risk of becoming gang involved or continuing in the gang lifestyle. Specific money for that. But that's not what Fani took that money for. According to the reporting about the whistleblower's allegations, instead of using these funds and federal grants for the intended purposes of helping these at-risk youth, your office, Fani, sought to use those grant funds to, quote, get MacBooks, get swag, and use it for travel. Moreover, the whistleblower's direct supervisor stated that these planned expenditures were part of your vision, Fani. You. The whistleblower also stated that she had warned you that the use of the federal grant funds in this manner was impossible because the terms of the grant were very, very specific. Now, the whistleblower was in charge of vetting, selecting, and securing the grant partnerships and was the, quote, only contact that the DOJ had with Fulton County. And less than 2 months after receiving this warning, so this woman came into Fani's office and literally warned her, less than 2 months after receiving this warning, you abruptly terminated the whistleblower and you had her escorted out of your office by 7 armed investigators. These allegations raise serious concerns about whether you were appropriately supervising the expenditures of federal grant funds that was allocated to your office and whether you took actions, Fani, to conceal your office's unlawful use of federal funds. Now, our previous letters, in particular the one we sent in September, we explain in detail our authority to investigate you, and that's what we're doing now. Now, to summarize that explanation, just be reminded that we have broad and indispensable power, and we can engage in inquiries to determine how our money is being spent. We have jurisdiction to conduct this oversight over you, and that's what we're doing, and you've ignored us. And potential legislative reforms are being considered, like whether we should give money to people like you, and whether we should be creating penalties if you unlawfully misuse those funds. In fact, we're considering stringent automatic audit requirements for DOJ grants and other eligibility requirements based on people who use and misuse federal funds. And so the information that we requested regarding your office is necessary to inform our legislation. Now, in our prior letters, Fani, we requested several categories of material that are relevant for our oversight. However, in response to recently disclosed whistleblower allegations and as an accommodation information, we are prioritizing the production of documents concerning your office's receipts and use of federal funds. And so, Fani, accordingly, please find attached a subpoena for the requested documents and the information, and we expect you to comply. Sincerely, your friend, Jim Jordan, Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, sent to you from Congress on February 2nd, 2024. So we'll see what Fani does to that and regarding that subpoena, but we do finally have some action, not just another letter. An actual subpoena has gone out, and we'll see what she does in response. Now, she's under a lot of pressure there. Apparently, there was a hack in Fulton County, and they say that her office was not affected by the hack. And we're thinking, oh, great. That's interesting. What's interesting about this, Trump's main allegation is that there was widespread fraud and that the systems were all susceptible to attack and to hacks. Well, apparently there was a hack in Georgia, but all the hacks never impact the election system. And so there is no reasonable way that Trump could ever think that there was any possible thing wrong with the election at all. It's the only system in America that is completely robust and has no problems. Now, she says that the Trump case was not affected by the hack. Officials said court and other systems in Georgia were hacked over the weekend, interrupting routine operations, but the racketeering case is unaffected. There was a widespread system outage, a cybersecurity incident. By the way, like, they're prosecuting Trump's people for investigating cybersecurity issues related to the election. And they admit, like, her whole system just got hacked to bits. County Commissioner Chair posted a video. He said the outage is affecting the county's phone, courts, and tax systems, but the racketeering case is not affected. Said all material related to the case is kept in a separate, highly secured system that was not hacked and is designed to make any unauthorized access extremely difficult. But she said that their operations were being drastically affected. Yeah, so the systems were out. I tried to go pull some records and I said inaccessible. Visitors to the website said temporarily unavailable. Additionally, the statement said that the Atlanta Public Department was not sending emails or opening emails from the DA's office because they were concerned that their systems were hacked. Fulton County grand jury indicted Trump for investigating hacking in the election. The irony is not, evident on the face for these people. There's no estimate when the outage would be repaired. Got it. That's Georgia. Incredible, right? So we also have Fani saying, I'm not going anywhere, so get used to me. And that's not a bad thing. I think Fani's probably the worst prosecutor that they could find for this case. And so I guess if we're going to have one, might as well have her. Fulton County, Fani says, I got no plans to step down, even if I'm having an affair with my lead prosecutor. And he's not going to go anywhere either. So she's just going to keep him on the payroll and keep everything right on the track. Staying around, even though she's having an affair, a decision driven in part over concern that her departure would end the case against Trump. See what this is all about. And his multiple defendants. I can't go. If I leave, this is not going to happen before the election. The sprawling racketeering case still has no trial date, and Willis and her team are keenly aware that the window to go to trial before 2024 is rapidly shrinking. Now, any change in the team handling the prosecution would likely delay the proceedings, and they can't have that. Otherwise, what's the point? It's unclear if another prosecutor would even be inclined to take the case, which is concerning, isn't it? The fact that CNN even acknowledges this, like any other prosecutor would say, I wouldn't touch that case with a Nathan's Wade's hot dog, man. Get that away from me. Willis has faced immense public scrutiny since allegations first surfaced that she was indicting her own special prosecutor. Instead, she's preparing counter arguments, and we read through many of those. Crucial weeks ahead. McAfee scheduled a hearing for the 15th. CNN reported defense attorneys issued a dozen subpoenas. And of course, we cannot wait to review. Now, here is what someone said. Norm Eisen, he said she should voluntarily step aside, even if they're not disqualified. I agree with that. I think that would be the smartest play. Like if you're playing chess game, okay, one of you got to go. And that's going to bring back some appearance of propriety. But we'll see if they do that. Like if maybe Wade would go, that would also be a smart play to make Wade go. But apparently sources said there are no immediate plans for Wade to step down. But if he did, Willis could replace him with another lead prosecutor. That would bring back some semblance of propriety. But in fact, I think that's probably the most likely outcome, or that would be the most intelligent outcome for them. But I'm not sure that they're going to do that. I think that they're going to double down on this and say, we're under attack. It's racist, bigoted, Trumpers who are attacking us. And they're doing social justice, right? You hear this social justice warrior mentality. This is what she thinks she's doing right now. So we're going to be covering this as it continues, my friend. We'll see if Jim Jordan gets a response from her or what happens there, right? It's a subpoena now, so things escalate if she doesn't respond. And she'll be a lot more inclined to respond to this one. What she says, we'll see. We'll be here continuing to cover it, my friends. Thank you for subscribing wherever it is you're watching this. Don't forget to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. We got our whole website down in the description below, robertgovea.com. Shop is there. PDFs are there. All the reports are there. We'll look forward to seeing you there and back here on the next one.